Welcome to yet another episode on case studies. A young lady came to me for counseling after her fourth breakup. She was feeling embarrassed and she was exhausted, not because she had a breakup, but instead she found there was a particular pattern to it. All of these people that she met were charming, caring, and kind. They were wonderful people initially, and slowly they withdrew, and she felt anxious. And she tried more harder, and eventually the relationship ended. The question that she was asking was, why am I attracted to similar people? At first, it might sound like bad luck. But in counseling, where assumptions end, therapy begins. Let's dive into this case in today's episode. Welcome to ATMANAM. I am Stanny, a counselor and therapist with 20 years of experience. And in this platform, we share cases, we decode them, and we study them. I asked her to tell me about the relationship, not the reason to break up, but all of them. And I listened carefully to what she said. The first person was a businessman. The second one was a marketing person. The third worked in media, and the fourth was a software professional. Different people, different professions, different interests, and different personalities. But strangely, there was something that ran across these four relationships. So let's try to figure out what could be the reason. Hypothesis 1. Maybe it was just bad luck. Maybe she chose the wrong person. This probably could be the normal explanation that everybody thinks. But in her case, they were all from different professions. They had different lifestyles, different interests. They also felt that they were caring and loving at first, but gradually they moved away. So therefore, this hypothesis does not work. So we move on to hypothesis number 2. Maybe she's afraid of closeness. Sometimes most relationship falls apart when it becomes serious, when partners become emotionally close. But in this particular case, contrary to avoiding intimate relationships, she did like closeness. She enjoyed being emotionally attached to these people. She felt comfortable moving close to them. So therefore, this hypothesis 2 does not serve our purpose. Let's move on to hypothesis 3, looking at attachment patterns. I asked her, in childhood, how was your attachment and affection towards your parents? It was very confusing at first for her. Slowly, as she started narrating, she figured it out that her father, whom she loved very much, was a wonderful provider. He loved the family, took care of the family. But when it came to emotional attachments, he gave mixed messages. Sometimes he was loving, sometimes he was emotionally available, sometimes he was distant, and sometimes he went into avoidant behavior. So she felt that the father was not emotionally close to her because his way of emotional attachment was unpredictable. Now we have a working hypothesis. Perhaps she was not choosing people who are unavailable. Instead, she was attracted to people who are emotionally familiar. Therapeutic interventions. We used relationship pattern mapping. I gave her a piece of paper and told her to write in 4 columns about the characteristics of the 4 people that she broke up with. I told her to write what attracted her, what were their personality, how did they emotionally connect to her, how she felt being with them, when was the first conflict, how did she emotionally react to the conflict, and finally, how did the breakup happen. By the end of this exercise, she figured out there was a pattern. The pattern was every partner was emotionally distant. Every breakup triggered anxiety in her. Every partner felt emotionally suffocated. Every breakup happened the same way. The insight did not come from me. She figured it out herself. Therapeutic intervention 2. We used CBT thought records. I asked her what was the trigger and how did she feel emotionally towards the trigger. When her partner did not respond to her messages, she felt anxious. The thought that she had was they will leave her. Now we also tried to figure out to understand whether her thought process was right. The automatic thought was, he is losing interest in me, leading her to text him frequently, try to call him up, and the anxiety increases. Ironically, this led the partner to feel suffocated. Therapeutic intervention 3. The attachment framework. Towards the end of the session, I asked her a question. What if she's not being attracted to unavailable people? She felt puzzled because most of the time she was in a relationship with somebody who had a pattern where she felt anxious, she tried harder, which eventually made the partners feel suffocated. Therefore, the relationship broke. It is because she had a template that she was attracted to familiar people who had this template. And her behavior and her emotion led her to the breakup. And she realized what she was doing. As the session ended, she mentioned something very important. She said, I am attracted to people because there is a set pattern in my mind. And if I can undo the pattern, she felt sure that she will be good in a relationship. And that realization opened the door for further exploration. Because if a pattern is learned, the pattern can be unlearned. In our next episode, we will be dealing with this exact question. Can we unlearn a pattern, and how? Until then, keep learning. Please do share, subscribe, and comment. We'll be happy to know your thoughts.